I complicate people's lives, and I've been associated with many traits such as silent, very misunderstood, life of the party, ignored, isolated, denied, legal, illegal, a prisoner, a bad person, addict, a facility resident, and some people call me choice. I seem to be everywhere and living in many homes as I show up in different disguises. I have ruined or taken many lives through many accessible devices. Families have been torn apart because of me, and I just wish people would take the time to understand me, be able to quickly recognize me, know how to treat me, but plan to never meet me. I am addiction disease. I partner with chemicals, usually meeting people of all ages because we are so available and careless. Many do not recognize us even though we sit in homes where everyone can see us and touch us, in open bars, cabinets, and countertops. There is an age limit for who can use us, but many times this is ignored. These devices which can attack are alcohol and prescription medications. Other legal devices include packaged designer synthetic drugs under different names, cigarettes, vapes, and yes, in some places, marijuana. I partner with alcohol and drugs which are always available and easy to access. We seem to hang out with such young kids because time and time again, kids and teens get their hands on us. Sometimes, adults seem to look the other way with no care in the world. You should see the impact I have on young brains because I am addiction disease. Life with my illegal counterparts seems to be trickier, but still very possible to live or die with many people. People will risk their life to get to be with us. Some of my illegal devices are marijuana, methamphetamine, heroin, cocaine, LSD, and PCP, just to name a few. One of my young victims was Hayden, and wow, does his family love him. He was a great kid and never caused his parents any trouble until 9th grade. We met through alcohol, which he got from an open bar at his friend's house, and then we met again through marijuana, which a kid was selling at school. Hayden had no idea who I was, but I realized I had changed his life forever because I met his DNA and genetic coding. I am addiction disease. From that day forward, Hayden worked to keep our relationship a secret and used many of my devices. I was with him all the time, but no one noticed me for several years. During these first few years, no matter how much punishment Hayden received, he did not realize how toxic I was. Here is a list of clues that were often left in Hayden's room and car that should have identified me, but time and time again, I was not recognized. His family was ignorant and then later in denial. They did not understand that I, addiction disease, was present in their home. Many warning signs should have alerted them that I was with Hayden. Small clear button bags, eye drop bottles, thin square paper sheets, lighters, unlabeled medicine bottles, strange smells, empty alcohol bottles, cough syrup bottles, marijuana, synthetic drug packages, stealing, failing school, glass smoking bongs, secretive, attitude change, lack of motivation, lying, personality change, disobeying rules, no focus, calls from the police, change in sleeping habits, risk-taking, and new unknown friends and isolation. No one had any idea that I was the reason for Hayden's dramatic changes. We were sick, not bad. As those years passed, I, addiction disease, robbed Hayden of healthy brain development and furthered his mental health issues. He could not function using my devices in his life and became angry and ashamed. Hayden had no self-awareness. After a few years, Hayden's family sent us to a boot camp, believing Hayden would come back a better person. But we were still sick, not bad. Upon return, Hayden and I relapsed, received a felony when pocketing a Xanax at school, and found ourselves in jail a few times. Hayden thought he was in control of our relationship, but I knew better because we barely made it out of high school and lived isolated behind closed doors many days. He was depressed, seemed to get anxious, and did not understand his personality disorder. He pretended to be alright, but could not stop thinking about my devices, which he craved. Hayden's family began to live with my partner's stigma, which kept their family quiet and in turmoil. As time passed, Hayden was introduced to a few more of my devices, synthetic drug bath salts and heroin. His life became a disaster. His family finally understood how awful I am and began to know me as addiction disease. Hayden never really understood who I am and hated announcing that I was with him. Hayden, addict. After we spent 2 years in recovery and stayed away from all devices living in a treatment facility, then halfway house, we moved to our own apartment. Hayden got a job and was trying college, but I could tell Hayden was having a hard time dealing with life and I suggested he use heroin again. He kept me a secret, did not let anyone know what he was hearing, and was not using tools to stay clean or a mentor he could get support from. In 2014, I took Hayden's life when he overdosed on heroin. His parents were devastated and heartbroken when they found us. His family was filled with grief, knew they must warn other families about me, help others understand addiction, and be prepared to recognize me quickly. Find all the information you can about me and talk about who I really am. I do like my new name, substance use disorder, because I believe more people will discuss me and let go of my stigma and shame. Someday, I hope a cure is found to help those that suffer with me to have a better chance at life. I am addiction disease.